We have first up Syd Mandelbaum, and Syd founded the global award-winning anti-poverty think tank, Rock and Wrap It Up. Now, Syd founded Rock and Wrap It Up to honor his parents' survival through the horrors of the Nazi concentration camps. And Rock and Wrap It Up, with 5,000 members in 500 cities and 5 countries, feeds millions of hungry people each year and teaches all of us how to use contracts to obligate excess food from events. Syd, take it away.
Thank you so much, Elise. And I just want to say that the USDA has been in the forefront in trying to get everyone to understand that unsold and unused food is such a huge asset to the poor. And Rock and Wrap It Up, as was said, it's our 25th year, 5,000 unpaid volunteers, and we recover food and other assets. So it could be hotel assets as well as college assets, but the majority of our partnerships have been in the entertainment industry and in schools. We were recognized by the White House with a Point of Light in 1998, and in 2014 we were recognized by the Climate Data Initiative with a project that we developed, which is called the Whole Earth Calculator, which I'm going to go over. Our success has been predicated really on making donating and recovering food very simple. In the music industry, where we first started, we found that quite a number of bands were throwing food out backstage. Rock and Wrap It Up came up with a simple idea called contractual obligation, that they put in their rider a sentence that just said all edible leftover food prepared but not served cannot go into landfill but must feed the hungry, and Rock and Wrap It Up will facilitate the delivery. Well, now 170 bands later, we have picked up in the aggregate over 1 billion pounds of food from all of our sources, but well over 100 million meals just through rock and roll. And we have every band under the sun that uses our techniques. One of the important ways that we are able to do what we do is because the agencies that we give our food to are able to reduce their operating budgets. And if we give these resources to the agencies, they can provide tutors for students with the money that's saved, social workers, job placement counselors, mental health counselors, green collar job training, in the aggregate helping to attack the root causes of poverty. The real issue for us has always been that the people that we give food to are not like you and I. Unfortunately, many of them have health issues. Many of them are immunosuppressed. So we're very, very concerned about safety as the most important component of how food is given away. The Bill Emerson Good Samaritan Act was sent through Congress and Senate in 1995, and it was signed into law by, at that time, President Bill Clinton in 1996. And that law protects all donors as long as safe food handling is used. And that's very important for us because it's not enough that they are giving the food, but the donors need to know that they will not be liable if the food is mishandled. So we really, really have to implore everyone to use safe food handling techniques. In 2008, a corollary to the Bill Emerson Good Samaritan Act actually was written by Rock and Wrap It Up and passed, called the Federal Food Donation Act. And that act basically tells the world that we don't want to have any food from any federal agency going into landfill. As you know, at this point, over 43 million Americans are still food insecure. The robust stock market has not helped the poor man and woman on the street and families. So there is huge need for food that is prepared but not served to go to the hungry. In 1996, we started with the EPA and the USDA a program that food from election nights all over the country were donated using the same stipulation that our bands did, Our first bands were the Rolling Stones and Aerosmith, and the same stipulations were used by the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee, telling their members on election night, please put those in the contract. Vetting our partners has been how we have succeeded for these 25 years. And without giving us an evil eye, we've never had a lawsuit. And the reason being the partners that we select have health certificates or serve safe certificates issued by municipal agencies. They must have ongoing they must have an ongoing program in transportation. They must have refrigeration, cell phones, storage, and important for Rock and Wrap It Up, they must be able to go on the internet and tell us what they have picked up through Google Docs. And this is a way that we're able to tell the donors what has been donated under their auspices. Our signature programs in the sports industry, and that started 12 years ago, we have statistics that we have been able to set up, and we have found that if a stadium has, let's say, 50,000 people in attendance, they're preparing about 40,000 pounds of food. And over the years with, I'll use the Mets and Yankees, we have picked up in the aggregate about 300 pounds of food from every Yankee game and about 150 pounds of food from every Met game that has been reported to us by our agencies. And this is important because our efficacy shows that we have found that there is a zero food waste acceptable coefficient, and it's under 0.001. So if you are preparing, let's say, 30,000 pounds of food for an event, we expect you to have no more than 300 pounds left over at the end of the night. And that's the statistic that we have seen across the board in our 25 years of doing pickups from large events. The Whole Earth Calculator was introduced through our sports venues where we used formula-embedded spreadsheets. And the Whole Earth Calculator basically is a mobile app that allows you to enter pounds of food, and it is converted into USDA-sanctioned meals and EPA-sanctioned greenhouse gas emission reduction numbers. You could send that out as a tweet. This calculator is right on the Rock and Wrap It Up website, which I'll share later. In this past summer, the White House recognized our paper and plastics calculator in their climate data initiative, and we have now two calculators, one for food and one for paper and plastics. And all of the food agencies that are on the line can use these calculators to share with your databases the donations that you're making and how much food is being kept out of landfill. This was designed in February for the NFL. And just to show you, we recovered from the Super Bowl at MetLife Stadium, 50,000 pounds plus of food, which equaled 39,000 meals and 38,500 pounds of CO2, which was not released. We encourage the young to get involved for a number of reasons. The generation right now, 70% of America is under 30 years old. And we want to make sure that students as young as kindergarten, first and second grade can join efforts of donating unused food through our snack wrap program, where here we have a number of teams. Here it's the Mets, we also have the Giants, that give us snack wrap boxes, and unopened healthy bag snacks are placed in them by students, which are then shared in their own schools for children at need and at risk. And we are huge proponents of the 3 Ps of the 21st century for proper business ethics: people, planet, and profit. In 2010, our first year working with the National Hockey League, over 211 tons of food were donated in one season to Rock and Wrap It Up agencies throughout North America, and this program is only growing. In 2008, we joined all of the sustainability people at NBC Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Sony, and we pick up food now in LA and New York and some other towns using freezer chests, which we place right at craft services, so that this is another way of ensuring that the food that is then, which is cooled down and then frozen, and we get food that is prepared but not served. We never take food that is on a buffet. We want the tray that backs up the buffet tray. If it's on the buffet, to us, it could be used for feeding animals. It could be used for composting, but it should not be given to people. The freezer that you see, this was from a TV show called Blue Bloods, and we were able to pick up 3 times a week. This freezer was filled, and it's 13 cubic feet of food, and that was left over from their film shoots. We have been a partner for so many years with the USDA and EPA, and I just want to give a shout out really to the Food Recovery Challenge. These programs that the USDA and EPA are introducing are ways to really challenge American businesses that they have to look at the food that they're producing and make sure that it goes to the needy. Next year, we're going to be offering the USDA and the EPA the use of the whole earth calculator, so we could also offer whoever puts food in the Food Recovery Challenge will be able to calculate their greenhouse gas savings. Our future platforms are very straightforward. We want to reintroduce the Federal Food Donation Act. We want to increase the use of the whole earth calculator. We now have lesson plans that any school can download from our website that will encourage students to be involved in getting school-generated food to the needy. And we also want to see much more green job training. Dan Glickman, a former mentor of ours and to Dr. Golan, has said that these grassroots efforts are the answer to feeding those that are in need in this country. And I just want to end by just thanking the USDA for their efforts in putting this program together. This is our contact information. Please reach out to us, download our calculators, download our lesson plans. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present.